We come to you this day, Father, and ask for your blessing. Bless this word. Bless your words as we talk about the day you died for all of us. 1 month of Passover, John 18. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Kedron, where was a garden, into which he entered, and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Yeshua ofttimes resorted thither with his disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Jesus therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? They answered him, Yeshua of Nazareth, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus saith unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. And I was reading in Matthew 24, I think it's Matthew, Luke, when he was up there. That's when he just begged him to watch with him for 1 hour. Everyone fell asleep. 18:8. Yeshua answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. If you want to take me, but let my friends go. That the saying might be fulfilled, which he spake, of them which thou gavest me, have I lost none. 10. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his ear. The servant's name was Malchus. This is one of the deepest sayings ever. Because Caiaphas knew it was going to happen. Judas knew. Jesus knew. And I don't know if they all knew the whole story, but... Then Jesus said unto Peter, Put the sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father has given me, shall I not drink it? Like the Elijah cup. First it was the big cup, the Emmanuel cup. It was given to him, and if he didn't do it, Caiaphas' dream was right. You know, should God come here, show us what to do, and then at the end run away and say, no, I don't want to die. Then the band and the captain and the officers of the Jews took Jesus and bound him, and led him away to Annas first, for he was the father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that year. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews, that it was expedient that one man die for the people. And Simon Peter followed Yeshua, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Yeshua into the place of the high priest. So Peter followed him. Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. And they followed him to the place of the high priest. 16. But Peter stood at the door without. So he stood outside of the door. And if you remember back, it said Peter was going to do something. But Peter stood at the door without. Then went out that other disciple, which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept the door, and brought in Peter. 17. Then saith the damsel that keep the door unto Peter. 17. Then saith the damsel that kept the door unto Peter, Art not thou also one of this man's disciples? Aren't you one of Jesus' friends? Aren't you one of his disciples? He said, I am not. He saith, I am not. 18. And the servants and officers stood there, who made a fire of coals, for it was cold, like it is right now. And they warmed themselves, and Peter stood with them, and warmed himself. The high priest then asked Jesus of his disciples, and of his doctrine. Jesus answered them, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort. And in secret I have said nothing. I used to write in secret groups in the Facebook, and then when I read this verse, it just stabbed me in the heart. And ever since then, we've had an open group, and we try to say everything we can in front of everyone and post it to the world. You know, Facebook is where everyone meets. The Son of Man says to, Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin's got a Facebook page, and got to talk to the raiser taxes. Obama's got a page. It's a lot faster nowadays. Digital revolution. Thy sword into thy sheath. The cup which my Father has given me, shall I not drink it? Shall I not accept this destiny? For, wasn't this why I was born? Emmanuel. Then the band and the captain and the officers of the Jews took Jesus and bound him, and led him away to Annas first, for he was the father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year. And we talked about him a few chapters ago. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people. And Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went. So he knew the high priest, so he went in and told him that he was here. Which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept the door, and brought in Peter. 17. Then said the damsel that kept the door unto Peter, Art not thou also one of this man's disciples? And then he saith, I am not. 18. And the servants and officers stood there, who made a fire of coals, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves, and Peter stood with them, and warmed himself. 19. The high priest then asked of Jesus of his disciples, and of his doctrine. Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue? I always taught in the synagogue, and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret I have said nothing. And what he means is, I've taught everywhere. I taught in front of everyone. Everyone knows what I teach. 21. Why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I have said. 22. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by, struck Jesus. Just whacked God in the face. Whacked Emmanuel with the palm of his hand, saying, Answerest thou the high priest so? Are you going to talk to the high priest like that? And in the council, Caiaphas already told them everything. So if they believed Caiaphas, they knew they'd kill this guy for everyone. It's like a big play. 22. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Jesus with the palm of his hand, saying, Answereth the high priest so? 23. Jesus answered him, If I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But why smitest thou me? If I didn't speak anything bad, if I spoke good, why are you hitting me? Now Annas sent him bound unto Caiaphas the high priest, and Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. They said therefore unto him, Art not thou also one of his disciples? He denied it, and said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman, whose ear Peter cut off. So, the guy just cut off his friend's ear. He's like, that's the guy that cut off my friend's ear. I know it's you. One of the servants of the high priest, being kinsman, whose ear Peter cut off, said, Did not I see thee in the garden with him? Peter then denied again, and immediately the cock crew. So that's 3 times. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman. 28. Then led they Jesus from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them, the governor of Jerusalem. Pilate then went out unto them and said, What accusation bring ye against this man? 30. They answered and said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, he would not have delivered him up to thee. We would not have delivered him up to thee if he hadn't done something wrong. If he wasn't a bad guy, we wouldn't have brought him here. Pilate, come on. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, Hey, wait a minute. I mean, they're thinking in their head, we won't, this guy has to die, and we're not allowed to kill him. So we have to get you to do it for us. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man unto death, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. 33. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again, and called Jesus, and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews? So Pilate, I mean, his name's getting out there. Governor of Rome calling him the, Hey, aren't you the King of the Jews? Why are the Jews bringing you here to have me kill you if you're the king? And Jesus answered them, Saith thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it of thee of me? So did you come up with this yourself, or did they, everybody else tell you about it? 35. Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? 36. Yeshua answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants would fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now is my kingdom not from hence. 37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? So Pilate's like, Well, are you a king or not? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end I was born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate said unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. So you want me to kill him, but I asked him these questions, and I've looked in his eyes. I find no fault in him. In another chapter, John or Matthew or Mark, one of the other Gospels, Pilate's wife had a dream about Jesus and said, don't do anything. Leave this man alone. So Pilate already had it, that was the day before, and then Jesus was brought into him. So he knew that there was something going on, and he didn't want to be part of it, like his wife told him. But he did. He was more worried about his job in Rome than the people. Pilate saith unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews. And if you've seen the Passion, it's like when he walks out to the big crowd and, I find no fault in this man. I find no fault in him at all. 39. But ye have a custom. So he's like, hey, you know what? This guy is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. And it's Passover, so I've got it, why don't we let somebody go? Let's bring somebody out. I have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Then cried all again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. And Barabbas was a robber. So all the people are convicted. Peter's denying him. Everyone's going against him. Friends, it might have been written, but I'll bet it hurt his heart. Betrayal's betrayal. Even if he wrote the book, I'm sure maybe he's thinking, maybe they won't do it. 18.